Hey everybody, welcome back to where we are deep diving into the Old Testament line by line. So if you have been wanting to ever read the Bible in full for whatever reason, to get spiritual nuggets or just to learn, you have questions about it, that is what we do. Every video is about 3 to 5 questions in just a few minutes, and we dive right into it. Right now we're in Genesis chapter 12, verses 14. So if you want to know what happens before then, just go watch all the other videos where we go line by line. And if you do like these deep dives, then please like and subscribe. It helps our channel, as y'all know. So here we are. Abram was going to Egypt, and he thought it was a good idea to disguise Sarah, his wife, as his sister. And now we're in this part where he's in Egypt. And what is confusing about this is Egypt known for scooping up pretty women, much like the elite sycophants do today. And because I asked this question, why would Abram need to lie and say that it is his sister and not his wife? Because he was afraid that the Egyptians would kill him for his wife. It's an interesting question, like how screwed up was Egypt that he needed to do that in the first place? There's really no explanation other than that. And so this prince of the Pharaoh, he sees Abram's wife Sarah, and he sees that she's pretty, and so he makes a deal with Abram and takes Sarah to the Pharaoh, to his house nonetheless. And Abram lied, said it was his sister instead of his wife. And I'm reading here out of my notes, and it says that he gives Abram all kinds of stuff. He gives him all camels, sheep, all these livestock. And then he gives him an untold amount of manservants, which are slaves. And it says in Genesis chapter 12, verses 16, that Abram hath done good. Well, that's real upsetting to me because Jehovah is supposed to be this wonderful, benevolent God. And so if you subscribe to how they are describing Jehovah in the Old Testament, Jehovah is not mad at Abram for tricking the Pharaoh, for lying to the Pharaoh, and for getting all these riches from the Pharaoh and to have slaves. All that is okay. Abram's done good. Why is that? And in Genesis, the same chapter, verses 17, Jehovah plagues the Pharaoh. Like, gives him big plagues. But why? Pharaoh was apparently innocent. He thought that was Abram's sister, and that Abram had the right, which is also strange, that you'd have the right to sell your sister. But he had that right. He bargained for those possessions, and that's all okay. So why not punish Abram for lying and trickery and for having slaves? No, that's quite all right. And that is confounding. And then further, Pharaoh sends Abram away. He's like, oh, shoo, get out of here. I don't want this plague. This is horrible. And so now Abram is, quote, in chapter 13, 1 through 5, is exceedingly wealthy. He's wealthy off of trickery and deceit. And so he travels out of Egypt, goes back to where he started from, which we talked about in the previous video or videos, where he built this altar before he journeyed on to Egypt. And it says that he was preaching again at this altar. Question is, what is he preaching? Preaching that it's okay to be deceitful so you can get wealth. It's okay to do, trickery. And it's okay to sell your sister. It's okay to have slaves. What else could he be preaching about? I don't know. Well, if you find these deep dives into the Bible interesting, as I do, I find it fascinating because these texts affect the way so many people think. that I believe on our individual journeys of spiritual growth, it is important to know and understand all religious texts so you can maneuver in this world spiritually the best way that you possibly can. So if you find that wonderful, then stick around, like, subscribe. And if you like a whole wide array of other topics that really dive deep into how to know yourself, how to strengthen bonds with other people, and ultimately how to communicate and commune with the divine in your own individual way, then go to themysticsoftexas.com and you can find out more about us and what we do. And if you're in the local area and you find this stuff fascinating as we do, we get together every Sunday at 1:15, and you can find out all that information at mystics of texas.com. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.